So I guess we're gonna go with the other question that everyone keeps asking, no matter where you go. Can es Sombra?
¿Quién es eso?
No,
my Spanish isn't so good.
Really?
No.
Okay, I was hoping one of the devs we got today would be able to speak Spanish and we could get this figured out for once, but I guess not.
In high school.
In high school, yeah, I think I took a couple of years.
That's unfortunate. That's what we're really trying to figure out right now. So I would
Seems
say
like a lot of people are interested in her.
yeah, she's really cute, very cute.
I think, like, somewhat of a spoiler teaser too, we have some more cool lore stuff coming out very soon about Ana. So you'll learn more about that moment soon.
Every time I've seen someone from Blizzard, I always re-ask, any news about that the comic coming out? And everyone's just like, I think soon.
Yeah. That's usually what we say about everything, like soon.
That's true.
And then everybody has to put the obligatory TM by it, which is, you know, kind of true, so you just have to roll with
Yeah,
it.
are you talking about the graphic novel?
Yeah, the graphic novel.
Yeah, so we're still trucking ahead on that. We're actually gonna be talking about that a little bit at the panel at Comic-Con, but it's pretty cool. It goes into a lot of the early days of Overwatch.
There's a couple of changes right now in the PTR with the hero limits specifically and overtime changes. And I guess Ana in general would be the big question that everyone wanted to know is when these changes are expected to actually be on the real game.
Well, in the best case scenario, you know, we try to get these things out as soon as possible. I think we want at least one more round of. This is hilarious because I'm like playing Tracer against these people at the same time talking. But
Yeah, good choice.
now I know how it feels to you. I think we want at least one more round of balance tweaks on the PTR before we try to go live. So, like Jeff was mentioning earlier, he made some balance changes earlier today, and we're going to try to get those onto the PTR pretty soon. So we want to see how those go and then have time to react to those before pushing it. So soon, but not super soon. Like, I don't think it will be this week because we still have stuff we want to see in action and test. You know, ideally we'll put something up on the PTR and then either, you know, the week after or the week after that get it live. So that's what I would say in terms of time frame.
Okay, and obviously I would assume looking for a console launch at the same time.
As quickly as possible afterwards, and the longer we stay on the PTR, the more likely it is for console and PC to align. Like if we're not on the PTR for very long and get out very aggressively, then console might lag by a few days. Although we always try to be simultaneous, and the longer that the build stays on the PTR, the more likely it is that we can bring console.
Let's find more bugs.
PC.
Let's break it. There were some people that were upset that there was only one hero, and they're like, oh, everyone's going to want to play the one hero, but I know you guys have said before that you don't want more than one at a time, because you did that before in the beta, it changed everything dramatically. How do you feel about that now, and do you think that, I mean, D.Va and Zenyatta are nearly new characters on the PTR, do you think that's going to help alleviate it? Just to
I think so. I mean, I've seen it already myself playing, and I've heard that as well. A lot of people are testing, you know, a broad range of characters, not just the new characters. But I mean, the bottom line is that is going to happen to some degree. Everyone's going to want to play the new hero, and it's kind of it's a very short-term kind of problem. I don't expect that to be like a major issue for a long time. But
I think you emoted.
the point you brought up.
Thank you.
before is
Thank you.
Like, if there's one thing we've proven, I think it's that we break every rule we ever come up with. So, like, right now, like, the previous heroes we had released were Genji, D.Va, and Mei.
At the same time, yeah.
In beta at the same time, and our sort of reaction to that was, wow, this is super disruptive, the game doesn't even look the same. We had a bunch of threads, you know, with people demanding to remove these heroes and stuff, so let's try a more tempered approach. But I think, you know, who knows? Like right now, just releasing Ana is good, but we might change our mind and want to do like 2 at some point.
The very long write-up I think you made, Jeff, about the plans for Season 2 of Competitive. So, I don't know, just while we have the people, if you wanted to talk about Season 2 and what you're looking forward to.
Sure. We're going to do a lot of changes to Season 2. I think some of the biggest ones, like obviously there's the 1 hero limit, and we've talked about why we're doing that. And, you know, that's not a black and white decision, the 1 hero limit, that we just think that's the correct answer, and hero stacking is, you know, there's nothing redeeming about hero stacking. We don't feel that way at all. Like, it's a really difficult decision for us. Oh, for Season 2, there's lots of other stuff. We're getting rid of the coin toss. We sort of knew that right when we were on the PTR. But for us, the PTR, there's only a certain degree of changes we can make when the game's on the PTR. Like, we can't do really drastic things. So the amount of overhaul that would have existed for us to get rid of the coin toss was too much on the PTR. So we are getting rid of the coin toss. And then we're also adding the time bank system to the payload mode, which means that like escorts and hybrids, both of our payload type of maps, will go to ties very rarely. Like, it will be mostly like the defending team defends the full time on both of those, which is kind of exceedingly rare on payload. We don't see more often. You see attackers pushing all the way.
If both attackers did push all the way, that wouldn't be a tie?
No, that would use our time bank system like an assault. So like, let's say both teams pushed all the way on attack, then whatever time you had remaining you would get for round 2, and you get to do it again. So if you push really fast and the other team pushes really slow, that means in the next round you're going to have a way better chance of beating the other team. So that should greatly reduce, you know, sort of what's going on with the tie situation. We want to see them happen very, very rarely. And then we're also, I think some of this might happen even before Season 2, but we're going to make a bunch of changes, some to Season 1 and some in Season 2, to just make the matches faster. And that goes for all, you know, assaults, hybrids, control maps. We think there's ways to shave time off what's going on right now, both in the in-between round sections where, like, you know, you don't need the full assemble your heroes time every time. So we're going to shave some time there, but we're also going to reduce some of the match time and just generally bring competitive match times in much more, which should, you know, that means more matches, and, you know.
That was my next question, that if you're worried at all about how long this was like inevitably going to take if you're having tiebreakers on payload and the time bank and all of that. So are you looking to just bring down the amount of time that you have to attack to shorten things up and make it so that there's less likely to be ties? Okay.
Absolutely. Like, we know, like, one of the things that people love about Overwatch is like quick match times. So we're always looking at ways like, how can we bring the match times in a little bit.
The people are wondering if you have any details on new maps.
I have your back.
New maps, we are actually, let me think of how many we have in development right now.
Ooh, that's a tastier answer than I thought.
Yeah.
We actually, Aaron's sitting here, he just held up, okay, so I need to preface this the right way so I don't get in big trouble. Aaron held up 4 fingers, for that's how many maps we have in development. That does not mean that all of them will end up coming out and seeing the light of day, because we do put them through like crazy amounts of play testings, but we are actively working on 4 maps right now. So I don't know when they're going to come out. I don't know if they're all going to come out, but we're very excited to introduce new maps to people.
But none of them will have Pokestops or gyms for people to take
There's
over.
still time.
What?
There's still time.
You're
And
embarrassing
I
yourself.
just totally lied right now too, because I do know when one of them is coming out, and it's soonish. With the TM and all that nonsense.
That sounds great. Everyone can wait around for soon. Okay, we
also,
got
the
gotta
other
win.
question that always comes up is about game modes, and we are experimenting with new game modes as well. Like the map that I know when it's coming out is one of our traditional game modes. It's not a new game mode, but there are some other things that we're working on and experiments that we're doing to explore new game modes also.
I was saying that Anna's right leg, when she was younger, is a robotic leg, and when she's older, it's not a robotic leg, but it's totally just armor. Can you settle the score right now? Can you tell me it's just armor?
It's just armor when she was young. So yeah, she never had a robotic leg. She did have a cybernetic eye though.
We do like robotic limbs though.
You're going to live.
Yeah.
Hanzo also. Hanzo's got his legs. That one comes up.
Barrett, yeah.
Character skins. People kept quoting me that there was some sort of information out there, or not quoting me, that they're quoting some sort of information that was out there that there were new ones coming in the summer. I don't know who said this.
Yes, that's true. I said it.
That's true. He said it. Wow, confirmed. That was easy.
Still summer. Well, first of all, Anna came with a bunch of new skins.
Yeah. So yeah, they're already in the game. There you go, guys.
But
the prophecy has been fulfilled.
There are more coming, and they are coming during the summer. Something that I see come up on the forums, and Jeff and I were talking about today, and it's one of those like, we're totally going to do it, and we just haven't mentioned it to people. But it's minor, but you know how for 76 and Zarya you can turn on the friendly health bars?
Yes.
We've been talking about that for ages, and we keep meaning to add that for the other heroes. So that's something that we will eventually get to. It's not super high on our list, but it's also not super hard. It won't happen in this Ana patch that's coming up very soon on the PTR, but that's one of those things that...
this basketball needs to be moved.
Yes.
Didn't make the patch, unfortunately.
Literally unplayable.
Yep.
And so all characters are going to be able to see through walls for your teammates?
No, just see health bars, right?
Yeah, just see the health bars.
Neato.
And we're moving the basketball to another corner of the table.
Oh, I know something that Tim and Jeff could talk briefly about. People have been commenting on a change to hitboxes.
Yeah.
I saw that question and didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, so obviously people have realized at this point that the hitboxes are not sort of pixel perfect or whatever to the character models.
They are generous.
Yeah, this is that way. It's not sort of any kind of tech constraint or anything. It's actually a design decision. I mean, early on we realized that we wanted the game to be really fast paced. And we obviously have characters like Lucio and Tracer and Genji that are can be really difficult to hit. But we didn't want to sort of restrict it to the model necessarily. We wanted them to be a little more generous so that we could allow for the mobility to exist without feeling like, well, nobody can hit anybody anymore. The game kind of feels bad.
Yeah, that's been the source of some frustration when you're a victim of that. While it might feel nice for the shooter, and y'all know how much I love talking about favoring the shooter.
I love the shooter. He's my favorite.
But yeah, so there's kind of two sides to it. There's some projectiles that have a size to them, a certain size that makes them easier to hit with, and there's also the hitboxes themselves that are pretty large above the character model. So that's why you have certain characters like everyone mentions Hanzo all the time. His arrows are pretty big, although actually not the biggest projectile in the game. But tends to be the one.
Ana is going to hold the record for the biggest one with her allied attack, right?
That's true. The allied shot on Ana is the biggest projectile in the game now.
Yeah.
So lately on the PTR now we have a change in to help address a common situation we were seeing complaints about, specifically as a result of sort of those decisions we made in the past regarding like people around corners and things like that getting shot when they felt like they were behind cover. I don't know, Tim, you want to go into like details about kind of how
Yeah,
that
talk
works?
about the philosophy of it. So, like looking at the problem in terms of frustration as a victim, but still feeling good as a shooter. We've just added some more nuance to it. So, I think for the most part, in the heat of the battle, it should feel pretty good if you're shooting as Hanzo, but you'll have a lot less situations where you're like running behind a corner and getting caught by a Hanzo arrow, or standing just outside of cover and getting caught by Hanzo. Like those problems should be diminished a fair bit in the PTR patch that will roll out.
And it's something we can iterate on over time as well, so definitely keep giving feedback on it. As I said at the beginning, we're not likely to go to a model where we just kind of shrink everything really pixel perfect and shrink all the projectiles down, because as a whole the game will actually get a lot worse. So we're looking at other solutions as well.
Yeah, like Jeff mentioned, like you guys all noticed it on Hanzo, because Hanzo fired Viking longships, but every projectile in the game has extra wide hitboxes. It's just Hanzo's can one-shot kill sometimes.